The year 2000, the turn of the century. I was there, albeit 9 years old, and just getting to grip with the world. Unfortunately, the world would take a turn for the worst. Food banks. Created to help those in need, but a foreshadowing of things to come. Things progressively got worse from here in the year 2008, with the credit crunch and universal credit stepping in. Times got even harder for the communities who were struggling. Rosyth Eats, Inverkeith and Pantry, Shield, and the Nourish Centre. These organisations have come forward to help the communities they are in. Today we'll be looking at one in particular, the Nourish Centre, based in Kirkcaldy. The centre is run by a fantastic team led by Lynn Scott. Hello, thank you for joining me today. Can you tell me a bit about yourself and what your company does?
Yes, of course. My name is Lynn Scott and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Nourish Support Centre. Nourish provides support for families with additional support needs in Fife.
I also ask the people who are here regularly.
Hi, my name's Louise Morgan and I'm a volunteer at Nourish.
My name's Natalie. I've only been here about 2 months now, so I'm a Wednesday regular. So
I'm came from Croatia here 3 years ago, and 1 year ago, I heard about Nourish, and came here with a lot of questions.
My name's Rebecca. I'm 25. I've got 3 kids, 8, 7, and 5.
I'm Kitty Pete. I just turned 18.
I'm Connie. I've started here a few weeks ago as the receptionist stroke admin.
Hello there.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Rab, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. So today we're going to be asking you a few questions about the Nourish Centre. So I'll just get started then. So the first question I want to ask is, how did you hear about the Nourish Centre?
We heard about it 4 years ago, I think. She won't answer questions, but my wife went as my wife. She went along to an open day, I think. It was at Linton Lane Centre.
Oh yes.
And then came back and told me we were going to group the following week. And I was like, no, I'm not. But you know what? It's been one of the best things I've done, I think.
The second question I have is, can you describe the day-to-day of the Nourish Centre?
Yeah, every day is a little bit different actually in the centre, because we provide such a wide range of services. Every day is kind of focused on something else. So a Monday is focused, for example, on adults with additional support needs. A Tuesday is focused on dads or men involved in the care of someone with a disability. Our Wednesdays are focused on families and counselling services, support services, benefits and such. A Thursday is based on poverty, trying to fight poverty and supporting families affected that way, and providing them with food and clothing and other items. And a Friday is a carers day.
What did you do before you came to the Nourish Centre?
I still work full time, so I volunteer here whenever I've got 5 minutes of free time, so I work in the civil service.
I was a yard shutter for a logistics company in Glenrothes. But having came in to my wife, I've got 3 step kids of my own. My oldest got autism. The youngest, he's only 5, and at the time she was struggling with postnatal depression, so things were really hard. So I walked away from working 12-hour shifts to look after the kids, and then found Nourish.
before that, I've done admin, reception all my life, but being here in this environment, doing it is just amazing.
So what was it like before the Nourish Centre came along?
Quite isolating, actually, quite difficult to access support. We did what we could before we grew to be the bigger organisation that we are.
They answered me everything, They gave me the way where I should go, ask how it goes, the system, explain how system works. It's totally different from Croatia and here. And it was like huge help to us.
So how has the Nourish Centre affected you personally as CEO?
A great deal. For my role for a long time was just mum and carer. My child has a disability and a life-shortening condition, and for many years I was just his mum and his carer. And so for me personally, using my experiences and the challenges that I've been through, and being able to use that time to support other people.
It's great to hear that you're enjoying what you're doing. That's the main thing when it
I
comes
love
to
it
this.
every day. Yeah.
It's really good. From your perspective, how has the Nourish Centre affected the staff and volunteers so far?
I think very differently probably for everyone, but it's a feel-good place to be.
How has the Nourish Centre affected you personally?
It's made me more aware of things like hidden disabilities. I was always been aware of Adam and his physical disabilities. I've got a physical disability myself, so it's made me more aware of hidden disabilities and how to not deal with them as such, but how to interact with people with hidden disabilities. It's just made me more open-minded, and I think go in the real world outside the Nourish family, I'm able to take that on board and take it out into everyday life. So
It's just, you know, it's such a great place to work. I actually can't believe that this is my job, in all honesty. They're all so supportive. It's just a really good environment, it really is.
Had some very special birthdays this week. So our young volunteer Kitty, can you come here please? Was a big massive 18 yesterday. Little Nala, wherever Nala is. Nala also has a birthday this week. And the lovely Shona also has a birthday this week. So we thought Louise has got some gifts and we thought we could sing happy birthday to Kitty, Nala and Shona. Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kitty, Nala and Shona. Happy birthday to you.
As we can see, the Nourish Centre is benefiting those gathered.
From your perspective, how has the Nourish Centre affected the people who access the Nourish Centre?
The feedback we get from families is amazing. It really is. Families tell us often that they didn't know where to go for help, that they were lonely, isolated at home, struggling, just not knowing where to turn or who to turn to. And coming into the centre, they are building friendships, they're increasing their support networks, they're finding out information that they may not have found out otherwise, and just being able to access so much more.
How do you think things would have been without the Nourish Centre?
Very difficult, very, very lonely, especially, and again, isolating. I know we keep going over that word, but it really is a real thing. Families, if you've got a child with a disability and you've got a friend who has a child with the same age, maybe that child is meeting all their milestones and walking and talking and going to school and doing all the things that you expect your child to do. But if your child with their disability isn't reaching those milestones, that's really difficult. That's heartbreaking. And family and friends may be supportive, but actually if they're not in that situation, they don't get it. And coming along to Nourish Support Centre means that you're meeting other families who do get it.
How do you feel the Nourish Centre has affected the community?
I'm speechless, to be honest, because I didn't see so many things in my life like here, especially Lynn and Rob and the colleagues here. They work extremely hard. They're very patient, they're very well informed. I think it's very important, and they put everything on the place,
Nourish is amazing with the community. And the backing from the community for Nourish at the minute is massive. We just putting it into context, the support just for the members, and we done 111 Christmas parcels, toy parcels. So 111 kids woke up Christmas Day with toys.
They seem to be doing fantastic things for the community. All the food work and all the space that people can come into if they need anything or anything goes wrong or whatever. So I think they're doing a fantastic job for the community.
So supportive, they really are. The amount of work that the staff and the volunteers do here to support the community is unbelievable. They all do a fantastic job.
I think it's benefited the community somewhat, huge, because there is so much different supports in place.
Yeah, it's benefited me quite a lot actually coming here. Like I've had a lot of support for Lynn.
I don't know how our families would have got through the last couple of years without this place. Things like the family support groups, as you can see, it's so busy here, and the parents and grandparents are chilling out. We don't know how often they get to sit and have a cup of tea and a chat without having to kind of rush about dealing with children and demands of a special needs child. It's amazing just to see that.
Where do you see the Nourish Centre going in the future?
I see us expanding, definitely. We're just about to open our new community hub, which again is filling another gap. One thing that we've learnt from speaking to families that's missing is when a child receives that initial diagnosis. Paediatric services in Fife are amazing, and there's lots of great organisations and charities like ourselves and other great people doing great things out there, but families don't know how to find them, what's out there. So we're going to bring all of that information together and have a central information point for families with additional support needs to come along, and we'll network with as many organisations as we can to get that information out there. We'll also have a charity shop and some fundraising things going on to help us bring some funds in. And then our next step after this, of course, is to expand and reach out. Although we provide support for families in Fife, a lot of families can't reach us, can't come to us. So we're going to look at where the biggest gap is in support and open our next community centre, family support centre where it's needed. We don't know. We're looking at that now. We're looking at Dunfermline area. We're looking at St Andrews area. We're just looking at where is needed, and we'll be working closely with social work services to find out, where is needed. Where can we go? Where are all the wee quiet places that people are struggling and lonely and need a bit of support?
And things have gotten better, as the Nourish Centre has opened a community hub in the Kirkcaldy shopping centre. What they have done for the community is amazing, and I hope they keep doing what they are doing. But I also hope that one day there will be no problems in communities and the need for this kind of support. But for now, at least the Nourish Centre is here to help.
That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that there's another Nourish Centre opening that can help the community, wherever it goes.
Watch this space, maybe next year, that's how I'm hoping.
Maybe Glen Rothes.
You never know. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming today and answering these questions.
No, it's been lovely to meet you.